Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. If you're new, you're really welcome. I'm Jane and my husband Mike is holding the camera. We're British, early retirees, debt and mortgage free and living a thrifty, frugal and money saving life on a super tight budget here in Brittany in northwest France. And every Wednesday we open our home and invite you in for a mid-week money chat. Let's take a look at this week's topic. We haven't always been frugal. We haven't always been wise and sensible with our money. Back in 2009, we owed £45,000 in personal debt. That was a car loan, that was a home improvement loan, and that was a few credit cards as well. We also had £217,000 on mortgage. We were stretching ourselves in every direction, and we had a joint income before tax of £60,000 a year. So you can see we were in a mess. And one of the reasons that we were in a mess then was we were living beyond our means. So today we're going to look at 10 ways that you can tell that you are living beyond your means. Number one is that you do not pay off your credit cards. Now, I know there are many of you, you're very sensible with your credit cards. You use it as a tool. You pay it off every single month. You use it to build credit rating and good for you. But you know you're living beyond your means if you have a credit card balance and it's just not paid off. You're just paying off the minimum payments. It's a clear sign. Number two, your credit card balances are increasing. You look at your credit card like a bank account. So if you owe £1,000, dollars or euros on your credit card and you have a 4,000 credit limit, what you see is that you've got £3,000 or dollars to spend and your credit card limit goes up. You're not one of these people who has a credit card, you buy something and then you pay it off. No. You know you're living beyond your means if your credit card balance keeps increasing. Number three, you either have no retirement fund or you're not paying into some kind of a pension. It's a real clear sign, isn't it, that you are living beyond your means, because if you're living beneath your means, you're making some kind of regular savings payment into your pension each month. So there we go. You know you're living beyond your means if you're not paying each month into a pension fund or a savings fund for your retirement. Number four, you have no emergency fund. You're still using credit. You're still using your credit cards as some kind of an emergency fund. You keep your credit cards just in case of an emergency. So that whole cycle of using debt is just cyclical, isn't it? Because you don't have an emergency fund. Number five, you regularly go into your overdraft and you use your overdraft as facility all of the time. So you have £1,000 or dollars as an overdraft. Your salary goes in, let's say it's 2,000 or 3,000, and each month you're 1,000 in the hole because you just go back to needing to use your overdraft because you've got no savings, you've got no emergency fund, and you just keep using that overdraft. It is a very clear sign that you are living beyond your means. Number six, you don't track your spending. You really don't know where your money goes. So you think to yourself all the time, well, we just don't have enough money. We don't have enough money for anything at all. And you're not tracking it. If I asked you, how much do you spend on petrol for your car? How much do you spend on the kids? How much do you spend down the supermarket? You might have a rough idea, but you couldn't absolutely pinpoint it. If you're tracking your spending, you can, but if you're overspending and you're living beyond your means, you don't. So there we go. There's another one. You do not track your spending. Number 7, you use finance to buy the big things. You finance your car, you financed your kitchen, you finance, as we've done in the past, building work for an extension or an addition to your house, or getting windows put in your house, for example, if the windows are not up to scratch, or getting building work done, or financing big things like a kitchen. So all of those things, you know you're living beyond your means, because what people who live under their means do is say, if we have to get into debt for this, we cannot afford it, therefore we do not buy it. So you know you're living beyond your means if you just use finance on a very regular basis to buy those big things. Number 8 really comes from the fact that if you're living beyond your means and you've got your overdraft to the limit and you've maxed out on your credit cards and the cost of living crisis has hit and you're not doing things to earn more money and you're in a really difficult situation, you know you're living beyond your means when you really start to fall behind on things. You're not current with your mortgage, you're not current with your rent, you owe the gas company or the electricity company, you owe council tax, you owe on your property taxes, that these things are mounting up. And it's no judgment to anybody in these circumstances, but it is just a clear indicator that you are living beyond your means. Number 9 is like the spiral, isn't it, of living beyond your means and not saving money and not getting current with your bills and not getting current and up to date with your debts or paying them off, is when you reach that point where there is not one more place to go to borrow money, and you end up borrowing money from friends and from family, and it puts your relationship in danger with these people. And what I'd like to add in here, if you are mum or dad or granny or granddad or that friend, and people come to you, I imagine it pulls at your heartstrings that you might want to lend them money, but there are things that you need to do with people first. You do need to say, what we need to do is sit down and look at getting you on a written budget. Let's look at your debts and your debt repayment. Let's look at who you owe money to. It's too easy to help people. It's like the analogy of give a man a fish or teach a man to fish. It really is that circumstance. But you really do know that you've reached the end of your means and gone beyond it if you start borrowing money of friends or family. Number 10, this is the bit that can catch you out even if you're not in debt, even if you do have a little emergency fund, just say the 1,000, even if you do have the basics and starting points of a few sinking funds, for example, but not all of them, not everything's covered, is when you do not have regular savings, when you have not made that absolute commitment to regular savings. When we were working, we were saving 15 to 20% of our income on a regular basis every single month. And now we are retired with a small, because we have the kind of pensions where the money comes in each month, we have a small amount of money that we save, and we save 10% each month into long-term savings, because you do not know what the future holds. But it can be very dangerous, I would caution against it, having no regular savings. Now, I like to be reflective, I like to be transparent, I like to be honest, and I like to give you the big picture. So like I said to you in the beginning, in 2009, we were £45,000 in personal debt. That was a car loan, that was a home improvement loan, and that was about 7,000 of that was on credit cards, things that we'd done in the house, for example. And we also had this massive great mortgage as well. So I need to give you the potted history of how we got to where we are now. So we just followed the old Dave Ramsey method. We made sure, first of all, that we sold everything that wasn't screwed down, that we didn't need. And we did everything we could to build up the emergency fund. We then took on all the extra work that we could. I was a high school teacher, so I took on exam marking, I took on exam moderation, which coursework moderation at that days. I also took on private tutoring. Mike worked for a local government. He worked every single Saturday. He also worked as an eBay trader, buying things from real auctions and selling them online. What we did is we focused every single bit of our energies and efforts into paying off those debts. And I worked in the summer holidays as well. I cleaned caravans in a caravan park. We took in lodgers, and every single penny that we had went to paying off those debts. We also stopped spending any money. We never bought anything new. We didn't go out and eat. We didn't have fish and chips. Absolutely nothing. We didn't buy new clothes. Absolutely nothing. We would eBay trade, and then if we had money, we would keep it in a PayPal account. We used to call it eBay money. And if we desperately needed something, whether it was new underwear, whatever it was, we had PayPal money in an account that we could pay for that. So we did that as quickly as we could to pay off £45,000 in personal debt in just over 2.5 years. We then started paying down our mortgage, and we did it exactly the same. We kept going exactly the same. So it was almost 5 years of absolute focus and determination of literally only heating one room, not, having 5-minute showers, using our slow cooker, meal planning, batch cooking, absolutely everything for 5 years. So we paid off that, and then we paid off a massive chunk of our mortgage, and then we downsized. So within the space of that time to 2013, we ended up with only £77,000 on mortgage because we bought a house half the size. So there's the potted history of where we are. And then what we did when we got to that point is all the money that we were throwing into extra, we then put that into savings. We let our mortgage tick away. We paid a little bit extra. We always worked on about an extra 10%. So we always paid off about an extra 100 each month off our mortgage, which took it to about an extra 12% of our mortgage each month off the mortgage capital. So we did that to hammer down our mortgage and really to get rid of it as fast as we possibly could. Then we ended up taking early retirement. We sold off the house with what little money was left on it, and we took that money with us and we came here, and that's when we were mortgage free. So we were debt free by 2011, we were mortgage free by 2018, and that's the potted history of where we are now. And we continue to drastically live beneath our means. We don't eat out, we dry our washing on the line. I use my slow cooker, I use my Instant Pot, I use my mini oven. I do the laundry overnight on cheap rate. I dry the laundry outside. I have a 5-minute shower. We still don't buy a lot of stuff. We still don't eat out. So we continue to live beneath our means by choice. We're perfectly happy, and we really aren't going without anything. But when I shared with you those 10 things, other than we never borrowed money off family and friends, I think we made every single other mistake there. That's absurd. And we never got behind on our bills. We always paid for everything. But those other things like using our credit cards and using our overdraft and buying a car on finance and all those things, we've made all those mistakes in the past. We are not perfect. Thank you to everybody who watches our videos. We really appreciate it. We love your comments. Share below. Have you ever made those mistakes in the past? Have you got family members that you're watching them make these mistakes, that you're trying to help in some way? We love your comments. We read every single one of them. Thank you to everyone who hits the like button, and especially to all the subscribers, old and new. And we'll see you soon. Bye.